Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Idiots and a Movie Podcast, Episode 5. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and here with me always is my co-host,
Matt.
And today we will be talking about the movie Midsommar. Matt, why don't you do us a favor and tell us a little bit about this movie?
You son of a bitch. This movie is about a college couple, and their friends taking a trip to see a Swedish cult.
Yeah, basically. That's basically all you need to know going into this movie.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's on Amazon Prime, so anyone who has Amazon Prime, you should go watch this. Especially for the month of October, the spookiest month of the year.
Yeah, you definitely need to go watch this. It's a very good movie.
Now, what did you think of the cast?
The cast?
Yeah.
I think the cast is pretty good.
It's pretty underrated cast.
Yeah.
Honestly. You got William Jackson Harper, who... Have you ever watched The Good Place?
No. I don't think.
It's on Netflix. Pretty funny. Pretty good.
Nope, never watched it.
Well, he's in it, and he's good in that, and he's really good in this. He plays the guy that's doing the thesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know
that
who you're
guy.
talking about,
Yeah,
but
and
I didn't know who that actor was, to be
man.
completely honest.
And then you got your Will Poulter, the guy with the weird eyebrows. He was in Maze Runner. He's pretty good in everything.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking
And then
about.
the boyfriend, Jake Rayner, he's in Transformers Age of Extinction.
I haven't seen that movie yet, luckily.
We will eventually.
Yeah.
I usually don't like him in things, but he was pretty good in this.
I thought he was really good. His portrayal of that character was really good in this movie.
I mean, granted, the only thing he did was kind of mope around.
And then start to freak out towards the end.
Yeah. And then you obviously got your breakout star, Florence Pugh, who's amazing in this. She really
sells this movie.
Yeah, she carries this movie throughout.
Yeah. She does a great job in this movie. And her performance is on point the entire time.
Between this movie and Fighting with My Family, you remember that movie, the WWE movie?
Yeah.
She's in that too. She's
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's the star.
Really? She's the star in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've been wanting to see that movie. I just haven't got around to it.
It's on Amazon Prime, I think.
Alright.
Those two movies really sold me on her, and I'm glad that sounds like she's going to be taking over for Black Widow going into the future of the MCU.
Okay, yeah. That sounds good to me.
This movie has an unsettling vibe throughout.
Yeah. To classify this movie as a horror movie, I guess you could, but it's not like horror as in you're gonna be scared, like jump scares and stuff like that. It's just very disturbing from the time you get to the Swedish cult till the end of the movie.
Well, I would even say from the beginning, because without going into too much detail, the movie starts off really dark.
Oh yeah, that was
and then
really dark. We gotta talk about that later.
And then the entire movie it kind of builds up, and there's a tipping point in this movie, and you know it when it happens.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of two tipping points, and you know both of them when they happen, and it just goes. I feel like it's just bananas.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't think this movie's gonna be for everyone.
Oh no! It's very slow and meticulous with how it builds up to the tipping point, and then even when it starts executing the creepy stuff one after another, you really don't start ramping up until like the last 20 minutes ish. Yeah.
But
even when they are ramping up, then it's still very slow and monotonous.
Yeah.
But it's just a creepy vibe throughout the entire time.
And there's a lot of what the fuck moments.
Yeah, there are a lot of those.
I mean, I haven't seen a movie like this ever.
No, this movie is very, very unique.
It's unique, and that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Mildly.
Yeah, it's very unique with how it takes its time and how it kind of messes with your head as it goes throughout
On. Yeah.
the entire length of the movie. So, you got anything else to talk about in the non-spoiler section, Matt?
No, I don't think so. I think everything else I want to talk about is and the spoilers.
Okay, well, from here on out, will be the spoiler section. If you haven't seen the movie, we highly suggest you go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. So, and then you can always come back and finish listening to this. So, you've been warned. So, Matt, you want to start us off with some non-spoiler or spoilery talk? Why don't we start with the beginning? Dark beginning.
Well,
I didn't see that coming. That was really dark. It's a very elaborate way of dying from carbon monoxide poisoning, essentially.
Florence Pugh's sister basically kills herself and her mom and dad.
Yeah, she ties humongous tubes to the exhaust of two cars that are in the garage, and then she runs those tubes. One, she runs underneath her parents' bedroom door, and then she seals off all the air.
Which,
yeah,
in real life, there's no way she would be able to pull that off.
No,
because there was a lot of duct tape on underneath that door, and that would have woke up somebody.
Probably.
But it's still fucked up.
Yeah. And then the other tube that she duct taped to another car, she taped to her mouth. And then she turned on both cars and just pumped her body and her parents' room full of carbon monoxide, and they both died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
And the pressing thing is that they first show you the message the sister sends to Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
So you as the audience, you know that she's already done it. But then they go back and show you how, and show you the bodies and how she did it, and then they show you the reaction of Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
No,
and it's just such a sad, depressing,
messed up thing.
Yeah. And then her cry is just
horrific.
Yeah. I mean, it was really bad because I'm pretty sure her dick of a boyfriend was probably about to break up with her.
Yeah, about to break up with her. Probably cheating on her.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of the boyfriend, let's get down into some specifics about how he felt about some of the characters. So, what do you think of her boyfriend? I think he was a dick, and he's pretty stupid throughout the movie.
Yeah, he's not a very smart man.
No.
But I like, because he's clearly a dipshit, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a thesis. He's trying to just
mooch off his friend who already has his thesis picked out, and he's like, now we can just do it together.
Yeah, we can do it together and try to feed off of other people. It's a pretty good character to have in this kind of movie.
Yeah. And in the end, he gets what he had coming to him.
What did you think of that sex scene?
It was very, very awkward.
It's very revealing.
Very cult-like.
And very... Both times I watched this, when that happened, I just out loud said, what the fuck? What am I watching?
That's one of those what the fuck moments that happens in this movie. And there's several of them, but this one
comes behind him
and she's like pushing on his hips.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, I can be very uncomfortable to watch with your parents, so don't watch it with your
Did you
parents.
watch it?
No, God, no.
I was hoping not, because that would just be a very uncomfortable scene. But yeah, that was a very weird scene. I mean, I saw it coming. I figured we all knew they were going to have sex, obviously, because
she put her pubes in his meat cake.
Yeah.
That's one of the tipping points for me, because everything after that, it's just things go sideways.
Oh, in the meat cake? I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's human meat, maybe.
Oh my god, it probably is.
I mean, when you think... as soon as they said meat cake, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's probably human.
Yeah. They put a Hannibal Lecter in this movie, too.
Yeah, they did.
Which is pretty impressive. What did you think of the cliff scene?
the cliff scene.
Yeah, that's kind of like the
this
big.
is the big point, because I mean, all up to this, it was. I mean, it's weird, but most cults are a little weird and backwards. No offense, but I mean,
Yeah, please don't go after us.
it's true. But well, I shouldn't say weird. They're unique. They have unique customs and stuff like that. Anyways, so when going into this, I just thought, okay, they're weird. But then when they brought us to a cliff that had a rock at the bottom, I was like, someone's about to jump, or they're just gonna throw these old people off. Nah, they jumped, and it was actually some very good practical effects, and you get to see everything. When the girl jumps like basically head first, and her head just explodes like a watermelon, and then the guy jumps feet first, and his legs just break, and it was absolute. I would have jumped head.
Yeah, what an idiot! Don't
I would
do
have jumped
leg
head
first.
Maybe it was part of their tradition of where one has to, because they had that big old wooden mallet there. Obviously, maybe that
just in case one of them lived, but surely you would have known. Go head first so you don't feel anything.
Well, maybe he was supposed to feel part of it.
Well, that's even more messed up.
Yeah, it was really messed up. But no, I could tell as soon as they showed the cliff, I was like, "Yep, someone's jumping off of that. Shit's about to get real now. Shit's about to hit the fan."
The camera follows them falling down the cliff too. And I think it brings even more of the.
And then it has that high-pitched ringing noise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. That as you're looking at it from the view of the main characters who are not a part of the cult. And yeah, it was very shocking.
Yeah, very shocking, very horrific. It's a good movie. I really like this movie.
I really like this movie too.
It's a movie, well, I have to be in a certain mood for, but it's so good.
Yeah, I think it is a very good movie, and I think if you're a fan of horror movies, you need to see this.
One of the most unsettling things about this movie, I don't know if you picked up on it, but every cult leader always is smiling and happy. Even at the end when you remember the Jake Reno, however you say his damn name, that cult leader came up to him and said, "Hey, you can't feel anything, you can't move, and you can't speak, okay?" And she did this all with a smile and all like in a happy mood. I'm like, no, this is the opposite.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's just
and then like when, what was the Swedish guy's name? Do you know the name of the character?
The friend?
Of the friend that brung the four main people there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know if you had IMDb pulled up, but anyways, his brother also brung two of his friends. It was a couple from England. And when they were flipping out at the cliff when the two people were jumping off, the older lady came up to him and was like, "It's okay, it's part of our tradition," with a smile on her face.
It's okay.
And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Letting people jump off a cliff?"
Yeah, and killing themselves. And then celebrating the fact that they killed themselves.
Anyways, the effects on the cliff scene of the head and the legs, I thought they were both good. I don't know if they're practical. I don't know if they're digital. Either way, if they're practical, they're really good practical effects. They looked practical from what I could see. But if they're digital, they're really good looking digital effects. I just wanted to point that out. That was something I really liked about the movie. What did you think about the score of the movie?
It was a good score. It helped build the tension. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. I like the score. It was very interesting. I think it really jived well with the overall story and the the cult sense of the movie. So I thought that was really good. The guy who was going there to write his thesis. You remember when the elders was like, "Yeah, you can write your thesis," and they were showing him their scripture. And then he was like, "Can I take a picture of it?" And then they were like, "No, that's the one thing you can't do." And then later that night, the idiot sneaks out.
He sneaks in.
After he just saw some people jump to their death. And he's like, "Oh yeah, let me just take a picture of the scripture." And then, boom. Gets hit in the back of the head.
Boom, Hannibal Lecter comes in and gets shoveled to the head. Or hammered to the head.
I thought that was a pretty stupid, idiotic decision to go in there and try and take a picture of something. They were like, no,
Yeah,
you cannot take a picture of this.
You don't know what these people are capable of.
That was like
you're stuck there.
Yeah, that was like the one rule he told them to.
Yeah.
They were fine with everything else as long as they changed the names, but they didn't want them taking a picture of their scripture.
Which I think there was no way that he was leaving that place.
Nah.
To begin with, so I don't think they really cared.
I have to agree with you. I don't think he was leaving that place either.
What do you think of Pugh's character just becoming the queen at the end?
She had completely lost basically everything by the end of the movie,
Pretty
including
much.
her insanity. When she was given the decision of choosing one of the cult members or choosing her boyfriend that just cheated on her to be stuffed into a bear suit and burned alive, she chose her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Instead of...
That's how you get revenge.
Yeah, that is definitely how you get revenge. I think we already talked about how bad of a boyfriend he was. He wasn't very supportive of her going through...
He never really seemed to care about her.
Nah. He didn't like listening to her problems.
Yeah.
And then he always manipulated her into making her feel bad. And then he wanted to sleep with several girls.
Several different women.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of got what came to him.
Yeah. The only problem I think people might have with this movie, besides that the whole cult thing might not be for some people, is the pacing. It's sometimes really slow, especially towards the beginning.
It's a slow.
Yeah,
slow burn.
It's a very, very slow burn, and I think that might get some people. I think this movie is like 2 hours and 14 minutes, or might be longer than that.
2 hours and 28 minutes.
2 hours and 28 minutes. So that can be a pretty long movie if the main stuff really only happens in the last 28 minutes of the movie.
Big WTF moments come in the third act.
Yeah. So I could see some people not liking this movie as well, not just because of the cult stuff, but just because it's such a slow pace.
Yeah,
a long build up.
Yeah.
And the violence and creepiness of this cult, I feel like they did a very effective job of slowly building up to it. Even though it was slow, I felt like they did a very effective job of taking their time and building up. It wasn't like all at once. Although it was a shocking moment after a shocking moment, it kind of eased you into it.
Yeah.
Like as you're seeing a cliff and you're seeing a big rock at the bottom, everyone's probably kind of getting the idea that someone's going off the edge.
Yeah, something's gonna happen here. We just don't know what.
And then you also see the foreshadowing of the love story in the beginning, where the girl shaves off her pubes and feeds it to a guy, and they mate. And you actually see that play out.
Yeah.
It's their version of love story. They're Romeo and Juliet, probably.
How romantic.
Very romantic. And then...
I want a relationship like that.
Nah. Ooh. And then you see where her boyfriend thinks about cheating on her earlier in the movie with some waitress or whatever.
Waitress.
And then he ends up actually cheating on her with the girl who fed him pubes.
In front of 8 different women.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does. It's very effective at building up to its WTF moments.
Yeah, and foreshadowing what's going to happen later on in the movie.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the setting? I don't think we've talked about the setting at all.
It's a good setting.
I thought it was a very unique setting. I kind of actually would have liked to go there, but
no.
not with the cult there. Just to go there.
No, have fun.
I thought it was very interesting.
And you become queen. Just send me a letter.
But no, I think the setting was very effective. They were out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a couple hour drive to get them back to actual civilization.
Yeah,
everyone was always high on drugs.
Yeah. There's a lot of drugs in this movie.
The whole cult, when we first see them, they kind of remind me of free spirits or like hippies.
Yeah,
is what they really remind you of, because they wear the white flowing dress and they're on with shrooms,
the rainbow. Oh, the
flower crowns. Yeah. They like flower children.
Cult, man. Yeah, they are something else.
Yeah. Some of the side characters I felt like were a little pointless. This is another negative I had with the movie.
Which
the whatchamacallit, the only thing you had to do was to pee on their sacred tree.
Oh, I like that dude.
I mean, I liked him, but he
He was
didn't really have much to do with the
Yeah,
story
he didn't
besides
have-
peeing on that tree and then
pissing off people.
and then that girl dragging him into the woods to get killed.
Yeah.
So
He has a great line in this movie.
Which
he
one?
Probably has my favorite line from this movie, actually.
what?
They were about to sit down on that table to eat,
Yeah.
and he sees these row of women picking flowers, and he said, "Someone should tell them girls they're walking stupid."
Oh my God!
You know
Because
what-
they're walking backwards and
Yeah.
picking them.
You don't remember that scene?
I do. I remember what scene you're talking
Yeah.
about now. Because after that, the main character comes up and hands her boyfriend a big lot of flowers, and he's like, "Did you walk backwards to pick them?" Yeah, I remember that scene. That's
scene-
funny.
That scene kind of cut me off guard. I'm like, oh, that's a really good scene, good line.
That's funny. But yeah, it's just some of the non-major characters. They didn't really have much to do. Like the only thing the couple from England had to do was to freak out and
out
call
and
the cult on their bullshit
And then
and then die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only big thing. But I didn't need any in-depth stuff for them. Some people are just in horror movies to die.
Yeah. To be idiots and die.
Yeah.
This movie is really about Florence Pugh character and
Yeah.
Her
It's
relation.
about her journey
Yeah.
and
journey to insanity. It's
yeah,
probably a best way.
essentially, because by the end of the movie, she's basically at home and at peace with her position in the
Dancing
cult.
while her ex-boyfriend is burning alive.
Yeah.
In a bear costume.
hmm
Yeah.
So, what'd you think about their whole the end ceremony? What'd you think about that? The whole burning.
the burning.
Yeah, I mean,
Burning of the
I'm
skins.
assuming what they do is build a building like that every
80
however
years. I think it was 80
often.
80 years, 90 years they said.
Yeah, something like that. And then they just burn it with 9 sacrifices in it. I'm assuming it's like the 2 eldest, and then
Yeah, it was the
People
two
that
elders,
bring-
and then the people they bring, and then they have
one
two,
other one sacrifice that the queen
sacrifice.
chooses.
Yeah.
Oh, and when those 2 guys, the 2 volunteers from the cult, were in there, and they voluntarily sat in there and burned
Yeah.
alive. That was pretty brutal, man. They focused in on him at one as he was burning alive for a good little while.
I like they gave him that drug or whatever that said you're not gonna fear anything.
Yeah, and
afterwards.
then he's
And
just
he
sitting there
clearly felt something.
screaming.
And
Yeah.
they're outside, hearing him screaming,
Oh,
just dancing.
Oh yeah, that was something else. Like every time someone would do something, like when she was crying or whatever, or having a panic attack, the girls around her would start crying.
Yeah.
The cult did that a lot, where they would basically, I felt like they were mocking, but they were just copying,
Yeah, mirroring whoever.
what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like feeding off the other people's energy. So that was really interesting or unique about this cult. So you got anything else to say about this movie, Matt?
No, I think we touched on everything.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job.
Maybe.
Okay, so give us your final thoughts on the movie.
This movie's probably one of my favorite horror movies in the past decade. I would hesitate to recommend it to people.
Really?
Just because it's
very
not
unique.
For, yeah,
It's a very unique movie.
it's not unique. Oh, it is unique. I can't talk, and it's for a certain people, I guess.
Yeah, it has its certain audience, and you'll know if you want to watch this or not.
Yeah, and then the first couple minutes, you'll know if you want to watch it or not.
So, what would you give it out of 10?
I'll probably give it an 8.
An 8 out of 10? I think I'd actually give it an 8 out of 10 also. I think it's a great movie, but I think some of the side characters not having anything to do, and it being very slow-paced at some points.
The runtime.
If the runtime was cut by like 20 minutes, like if it was just 2 hours, like, I mean, I feel like it could have been a little bit easier to digest for some people, but I mean, it's fine with me. I just feel like it's a little slow in some spots. But I thought it was a pretty good movie. So you got anything else, Matt?
No, I think that might be it.
Okay. Well, then, that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We put out new episodes every Sunday and Wednesday.
Give this episode a like and just rate us if you want.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time when we talk about It Follows.